Hello everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to have a look at some nice setups that unfolded today on the Nifty, on the Indian market, so on the 3-minute Nifty. But before we look at a chart, I'd like to start with our risk disclaimer and remind you that all examples in these videos should be considered as hypothetical. No trades are actually taken, they're just shown for illustration and training purposes only. Also remind you there's a risk of loss in trading and investing. I'll say that another way. All professional traders know and understand, and more importantly accept, that losses can and will do unfold. We'll be looking at some losing trades in today's video as well. All trade decisions are your own sole responsibility. Right, let's have a look at how the Nifty on a 3-minute chart has unfolded today, which is, if I put the cursor on, you can see is 28th of June. Right, as you can see, we've had some sell setups here and also some buy setups, but let's take these as they come through, looking at to see whether they unfold in the direction of our MTP trend, which is red for down, black for flat or in the process of changing, and then blue for up. We'll also look at the higher time frame chart to see whether these are in the direction of the higher time frame support and resistance zones as well. You can see this TS4 sell with a red MTP trend was a good one to take. If I place the analysis off the red sell bar, you see the market came down, went back up again, wouldn't have stopped you out, and then got down to its first target for a nice 2-hour profit there at the low of the day. So the sell setup was coming off the bar of the high of the day, then the trigger was 1 bar later, and the profit was pretty much at the low of the day. Let's clear this all off. The MTP trend goes black, in other words, an area of where the market is possibly like making a reversal. So if I right mouse click on this, do analysis, this gives another potential trade, in this case a long trade. Now the market didn't get to its first target, you'd have probably been stopped out on close for a potential 3.4-hour profit. So a very nice profit there indeed. There's also a Holy Grail long trade set up, but you've already been in a trade. That was again with our MTP blue trend there as well. If you hadn't have taken this one earlier on in the day, then you might have well considered the other trades. So let's have a look at these. There was a sell set up here. Right mouse click, do analysis. You can see there was a history triangle. So this allows you to place the analysis on. This would have been a losing trade. Remember, losses can and will and do happen. That's why I said at the start of the video. If this would have been a loss, we use correct position sizing to keep our number of number of contracts to keep our risk small and under control. And as such, this would be a 1-hour loss. There was a 1 risk unit loss. If we'd then taken the next sell setup here, you can see there's another history triangle. Right mouse click here. Again, that would have been a losing trade. So that would have been 2R, so 2 losing trades. You got another sell set up here. Again, MTP trend is still red. Right mouse click over the red sell bar, do analysis. This time the market goes down to the first target there. We wouldn't have been looking at this buy setup because this is against our MTP trend color. Here the profit would be plus 4.8. Can I call that 5 for easy maths? Because this is a good indication of why we use correct position sizing. So remember, there would have been 2 losing trades here earlier, minus 1R and minus 1R, but can you see how this profitable trade at almost plus 5R would be much larger than the 2 losses, and as such make you profit overall. So that's a good example of how to use position sizing, or why we use position sizing in our calculation of the number of contracts to trade. So this would have been a good day on the Nifty, where either you'd have taken this first TS4 sell and then held that all the way through this corrective rally here, and then taken profit down at the low of the day there pretty much, and then got your next trade on the way up as well. So I had some nicer trades there. Or if that was too big a risk for you, you might have well have taken some other trades later on. In other words, you'd have had possibly a minus 1R loss, a minus 1R loss, then a potential plus 4.8-hour profit. Let's have a look at to see how this fits in with our large degree trend. So for this we go to the higher time frame chart. Higher time frame, remember, is between 3 and 5 time frames higher. So if you're using a 3-minute chart, this would be the 15-minute chart. If you're using a daily, it would be the weekly. If you're, say, using a 15-minute on Forex or something like that, it would be the hourly chart. Now for this, we would place our DP support zone, support and resistance zones on the chart. Now remember, these are on the chart before the market even gets there. So as the market started to decline down here, you'd have right mouse click on this low, do decision point, and this level would have been on the chart before it got there. I cannot stress that enough. I mean, here's an example here. If I right mouse click over that high, place the decision point on there, you can see it's giving you potential resistance for tomorrow to see whether the market does get up to that level. But for today, you can see that this was a higher time frame support zone. So now if we go back to the 3-minute chart, can you see how that nailed the low of the day for you very, very nicely? So that would have been on your chart as the market was coming down. So maybe as you were taking this trade setup, rather than coming out at plus 4.8R, you might have said, well, actually I want to go down here a bit further. I want to run that to the higher time frame support zone. If so, that would then have increased your profit to near 8R plus 7.9R. So that's a good indication of how to use the higher time frame support and resistance zones from your higher time frame chart on the shorter time frame that you're actually trading. In fact, actually I can see that the actual red sell bar would have actually been this one rather than this one. So your entry trigger would have been off here. So our first trade wouldn't have been plus 4.8R, it would actually be plus 5.6R. And if you'd come down into the low here, it would have been almost 9R profit. So an absolutely fantastic trade if you'd look to run that into the low. But can you see how that would have given you added confidence that not only is our MTP trend red, in other words down, but you're also in the direction of the large trend. And you can see how that then gave you that support zone that was on your chart in advance that came in and nailed the very low of the day for you. That was a very nice volume spike trade. You can see here this bar here came in with a high volume that went below the prior low. It then reversed back up again, and that gave you a VS buy setup, which then allowed you to go long to catch the rally into the close. So a nice trade there off the very bar of the low. So a very good day for you on the Nifty. The Bank Nifty also had some nice trades as well. There's a TS3 sell that didn't quite get to its target, but of course when you were coming down here you knew that Nifty was at its large degree support zones. You may well have been looking to bring your stop a little bit closer on this and lock in some profit. We also had a losing trade here. We've seen losses can and will and do unfold, and then also another potential profitable trade there, and also another losing trade there. So there were some trades on the Bank Nifty, but overall the pattern wasn't quite so clear as on the Nifty itself, where we had some picture perfect trades, including nailing the low of the day there with our 15-minute DP support zone. And the best trade of the day was off that sell setup into either the first target or potentially down into the higher time frame support zone for a very nice profitable day. So a good example of seeing MTPredictor or how MTPredictor did today on the 3-minute Nifty, which is June the 28th.